I think we'll be fine.
I'm so worried about this not working.
Well, we'll find out. We'll make it work. Excuse me.
Okay. You waited until I press record to fucking do that grossness.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm a boy living in the 20th century. I thought that was loud.
No, you're not.
You cancel me for that, bro?
First of all, you're living in San Francisco.
I'm not. I'm just here volunteering. I'm helping out the cat. Helping out that little guy. But let me see. IMDb. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Alright, cool. Because I was like, for some reason, X wasn't popping up on. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
today,
because
Let's Get Trashed.
you're supposed to go to IMDb X, not X videos. I know you got those confused.
Hey man, search history. It goes hand in hand.
You
I'm not gonna
I
say
understand
I'm better.
you type in the word X and then your Google's like I got it from here. I know where we're going.
It's already 11. All right, let's do this.
Yeah. Google's looking at your clock like
Like it knows me
it's
better than I do.
11:45 on a Thursday. He typed in the letter X. I got this. I know where
We're,
I know where we're going.
we're running this hot. Okay. Let's talk about
Uh,
X.
let's
Let's
talk
talk about the
about
movies.
X. Let's talk about Ty West's film X, distributed by
Yes.
A24, currently in the theaters. I think it debuted at South by Southwest. I was not there for the debut,
Yeah.
though I am an Austin resident. I should have been because it is. We're gonna go right off the bat. I'm gonna say it's awesome. I'm gonna say it's amazing.
I agree.
This entire video is from the perspective. This movie is awesome. You should absolutely go watch it. We're gonna do our reviews at the end. Wherein I recommend it. Steve's gonna give it a number score 1 to 10. But don't even fucking wait for that. It's great. Go
Go watch
watch it.
it. Go. It's a fun
Couldn't
movie.
recommend it high
It's a fun
enough.
movie.
Um, yeah, let's do a little bit of before we get into like spoilery type shit. Steve, let me hear you do a little bit of plot synopsis, please.
It's a film. I guess it's a strippers, correct, and a film crew, and the whole point of this is that they're gonna film a dirty movie on this ranch in Texas. Uh, the people in charge of the ranch are creepy as fuck.
There we go. There we go.
That's not,
Yeah, that's exactly right.
is it better?
That's a great synopsis. We realize at the beginning that they're strippers. Either way, they're all presumptive or presumptive porn stars. They they rent the back house on some farm outside of Houston. All these folks that work at a Houston strip club. They're and well strippers plus a cameraman plus his girlfriend. Everybody else
The
is
boom mic operator.
yeah. Cameraman and the boom mic operator, boyfriend girlfriend combo. Everyone else is either a stripper or
Talent.
that main guy who's the producer,
Yes.
who is Mia Goth's boyfriend, actress Mia Goth, playing. I don't even remember her character's name,
Maxine.
but Maxine.
I think that's
Really,
correct.
her name was Maxine.
Maxine and Pearl. She plays both.
Well, I know she plays Pearl. Pearl being the old woman who lives on the farm, but she also plays. I didn't realize her name was Maxine.
Yeah, that's Maxine.
Maxine. Great song by Cosmo Jarvis. Check it out. Look, go to Spotify and look up "Let's Get Trashed," the playlist. Okay, because I'm creating a Spotify playlist
No, don't do that. This is more bullshit.
like that. Yeah, I know. More shit for me to do. But anyway, Maxine by Cosmo Jarvis is a great song. I did not realize that was Mia Goth's name.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're filming, like Steve said, they're filming pornography. The owners of the property, despite renting this room to them for the evening, turns out they have quite a problem with what's going on. And they
do. Yeah,
they get into it. So, from this point on, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're going to see fucking the word spoilers everywhere. if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or maybe even Spotify, I'm going to try to figure out how to put this on Spotify because why not? Then look in the description and I will tell you to skip from right now until later on where we'll stop spoilering if that even happens. But you should go see this movie and let's talk about it. All right,
cool.
Steve, we're in spoilers. What goes on?
All right, so first of all, I guess the first half of this movie, it's actually a pretty fast-paced movie if you think about it. Like, there's no real slow or like, there's nothing that drags out. It's all pretty consistent. There's nothing that's fucking weird or anything like that. I mean, there's some weird shit, but it's just like movie overall. The pace is amazing. The beginning,
Excellent pacing.
I like the beginning. I like the interaction with everyone. Like, everyone's starting to learn who they're working with, and the use of cameras. Like, I think I believe, what's her name, Bobby Lynn, or Britney Snow's character says,
Bobby Lynn.
When I believe it's Kid Cudi's holding the gas pump nozzle, she's like, get that low angle so it looks like it's his cock or something like that. It's so fucking funny. I was like, that's so good, because he was just rocking it all hard and shit. Those little moments, I was like, this is a fun movie. Like,
it did an exceptional job of setting up all our characters.
Yeah.
From the beginning. It very, very clearly shows us that Mia Goth is a stripper with big dreams. We immediately know that what's his name? I don't even remember I don't remember the man Wayne. I don't remember the actor's name, but his character's name was Wayne.
Martin Henderson.
What's that?
Martin Henderson is
Martin
his name.
Henderson. Martin Henderson, he's kind of the sleazy video producer guy.
Yeah.
Anybody familiar with Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights knows exactly the character archetype that we're discussing.
Yeah.
Britney Snow. She's the blonde. She's supposedly the dumb blonde, but they give us right off the bat, like what Steve just described, they give us that little moment of she's not just some dumb blonde, like, boring stereotype character. She's not this shallow. Right off the bat, they give us a little thing of her having a good idea cinematically. She has a good cinematic idea regarding how Kid Cudi should hold the gas can or a good gas nozzle, and how the cameraman should film it. It's not a big deal, but it's just enough to let us know that, oh, she's not a one-dimensional, dumb blonde character. She's a real human being.
Yeah.
And even though she's kind of silly, you can maybe think of her as the silly bimbo. You don't have to. She
carries it really well. She carries herself really well, and
she's a real human being. She feels like a real person.
Yeah. She's thought out enough to be considered like a major part of this film, which I think it's
right. She's not she's not the throwaway.
Yeah, she's not an afterthought.
Dumb
she's like
bimbo
in there.
Character that we have to have. She's a real person. It feels real. Same thing with they start off talking about, I don't remember the actress's name. I thought I had it written somewhere.
Jenna Ortega?
Jenna Ortega. Let me write this shit down so I don't have to keep re-referencing. It starts off, Jenna Ortega, who's the boom mic operator. She's the cameraman's girlfriend. She's obviously the timid one. The other girls are talking about her behind her back, like she doesn't say anything. She's weird. She's quiet. But Britney Snow talks to her, asks her a direct question. Hey, blah blah blah. What are you doing right now? And and she answers her. Ortega answers her like, so she's not some. Again, she's not some weird mute. She's a real human being. She might be quiet and shy,
reserved,
and certainly unsure about this whole venture that they're on. But she's not some caricature cartoon character that like she's the one that never speaks.
She actually spoke, and then she was asking questions. There was general curiosity.
If you speak to her directly, she will answer you, just like any shy person.
Yeah.
Again, it was not. That's what I love about movies. That's what I love about this movie and anything that's well made is that I love characters. Characters are the best part of any story, obviously, because they're the only driving force of any story, and well thought out characters that make sense and behave in a way that is consistent with their consistent with their personality is it's all I ask, and I feel like I'm not asking that much. Except I constantly see movies where
I've been disappointed a million times.
What the fuck is going on? And why are you acting like this?
Yeah.
What part of your background makes you act like this? But I would not say that one time in this movie.
Yeah, that's great.
Jenna Ortega was great. Britney Snow was great. Mia Goth was awesome. Kid Cudi, who again I'd never. Well, actually, that's not true. I saw him. I looked through his entire IMDb because I was like, I knew him before I watched this movie. I didn't even know it was Kid Cudi in this movie.
Mm.
When I found out that was Kid Cudi, I went through my mental Rolodex and I realized, oh, he's DJ Cello in Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
Famously, Don't Look Up, which is famously cataloged in Let's Get Trashed episode 1. So go back to Let's Get Trashed episode 1. You can hear us talk about Kid Cudi as DJ Cello. But those I looked through his IMDb. Other than Let's Get Trashed, Don't Look Up, Adam McKay's Don't Look Up. Other than that, I didn't recognize him from anything except for he played a very small part in season 3 of Westworld.
There you go.
He was Aaron Paul's friend that we only see in flashbacks and gets murdered.
Yeah.
It's part of what leads Aaron Paul's character on his arc in season 3. So he's a flashback in the worst season of Westworld. Yeah. So
we're not talking about Westworld. We're talking about X. So let's stay on the track.
We're talking about Kid Cudi, who is a star. And was incredible in this movie.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. I actually enjoyed everything he did in this movie. I think the funniest part was when he was just searching for the old man in the water, and I was like, man, this sucks. This is like I would not be in that fucking water, you know. But also, just his character was pretty chill guy, always enjoying himself. It was a fun time seeing him just be himself, like not be himself, but just act the way he was acting, and it was really good.
It was fantastic acting by all of these actors we mentioned. It's so well acted. And so anyway, now that we're in spoilers, obviously we get to they get to this farmhouse outside of Houston. Wayne, what was that actor's name? You have that up?
Wayne was Martin Henderson.
Martin Henderson. He has made a deal with the owners of the house to rent they have some barn in the back, you know, with some barracks or whatever.
From the Civil War.
Yeah. And he has made arrangements to rent that. They're going to film on location. And hopefully the owners of the farm will just stay out of their business. The man, what's the husband's name?
I believe it's Howard, but I don't know if that's... I think it's Howard, yeah. It's Howard.
Yeah, what's the actor's name that plays Howard?
His name is Stephen Ure.
Stephen what?
Ure.
Okay, so Stephen Ure he does play Howard. That was the name. I do remember that because that's my dad's name.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like that's funny. Anyway, Stephen Ure is the farm owner.
Yes.
He just says you guys can use this barracks in the back, but stay away from my wife because she gets upset around folks, and everyone's like, yeah, that's totally fine. We don't want to talk to your wife. This has nothing to do, you know. That's a weird stipulation that you would put on this because none of us even care at all. And then it's fucking awesome. So, what happens is they film a lot of sex scenes. There's a lot of amazingly built tension as we get to the apex of the movie, climax of the movie, wherein the wife starts going crazy and killing
No,
killing the film
she
crew.
just wants sex, man. She just wants to get laid. That's all she wants. This is a story about a woman. I believe, what was her name again?
Her name is Pearl.
Pearl has not gotten anything in a long time, man, because fucking old ass Howard can't. He could have a heart attack, man, and make love to her, and he die on top of her. That was the threat. That was the issue, man. I felt so bad for Pearl.
You know what? That's interesting. You say that. Our villain, Pearl and Howard, but it's driven by Pearl.
Yeah, 100%.
The wife of the farm owner, played by Mia Goth. Mia Goth is doing double duty in this film, excellently. Yeah. Although we'll talk about it in a little bit if it was necessary. But Pearl is desperately missing her youth, and that is the driving force of the villainy in this film. Is that she misses her youth, and when she sees young people,
she sees Pearl. She's like, man, Pearl's body.
No. She is Pearl.
No, I'm sorry. So she sees Maxine's body, and she's like, damn, I remember when I looked like that.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, old Mia Goth, Pearl, she sees young people doing young people things, and she can't handle it. She's not aging gracefully, folks, okay?
She's at least 102, man.
She's having a rough go of it. She's got fucked up hair. Fucked up
everything, man. There's nothing good about this woman. She's on her way out. There's no putting it nicely. Bad.
And furthermore, not even just that she's looking bad, she looks like an old lady, but she's so upset that she can't have youth anymore. I'm very pleased that this movie didn't turn supernatural at all.
Yeah, me too.
For a second, I thought it was. I thought it was going to be either ghost type shit or, stealing your essence, vampire-y type of thing. It never turned supernatural. I kept waiting for that. It didn't. It was great.
Yeah,
it stayed
true.
It stayed realistic. Yeah, she's just a crazy woman. She kills young men, and she wants young women to love her. Hillary Clinton is the bad guy in this film. Okay?
It's fucked up. That's fucked up. Well, I understand it.
Yeah, it's so interesting, and what's so fun is I kept thinking, watching it cause she has that super frizzy hair, so she looks like a cross between Hillary Clinton and Yahoo Serious.
Yahoo Serious? What the fuck?
All right, on screen is a picture of Yahoo Serious right now, and so watch this on YouTube to see that I'm 100% right.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so it's Hillary and Yahoo Serious. Anyway, but that's the whole impetus of the movie, is that this old woman so desperately misses her youth, she's willing to kill strangers that are throwing their youth in her face, so she thinks. Yeah. And it's great, man.
It gave me Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original feel, like that like nostalgia factor. That helped me a lot. And then also that it was based in Texas, like I felt really comfortable with this film, and I actually enjoyed it a lot because of those reasons. But man, the storytelling and also the fucking practical effects, man, were fucking so well done, dude. Like, there was so much fun that was had in this film that I haven't seen in many films in a long time. This was like a Tarantino film. This was like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Tarantino had a baby. This is what it would be, because it was that amount of fun and cool and like crazy shit that was going on that I enjoyed it. The stabbing scenes, like when she was getting rid of, I believe it was RJ Owen Campbell. She was just going to town. She cut off almost his whole head with whatever, I believe it was a fucking the knife. Yeah, she just went to town on it. It was crazy. Like just seeing that shit, those practical effects in use. I was like, his head's almost gone. Like it's completely severed. This shit's
Yeah.
insane. The barn scene with the fucking smoke, or the not smoke, but the fucking trowel. Is it a trowel? Or what the fuck's it called?
A pitchfork.
Pitchfork. There we are. Sorry, a pitchfork through the fucking eyes. It's like clever little ways of killing that like I haven't seen in a long time that were like really enjoyable.
Killing Martin Henderson. So that was a great scene of he's in the dark. He's looking for something. He's looking through a knot hole, a hole in the wood, and then the pitchfork comes through and stabs him in the eye. This thing happened a lot in this film, but this was my favorite moment of it. This moment made me realize this editing thing. But what would happen a lot in this film is whenever they were making scene transitions, they would do 3 cuts back and forth. So let's say we're at the convenience store. We're on the road. We're leaving the convenience store and then we're driving on the road. Those are the 2 scenes that are happening next to each other.
Yeah.
They would go from convenience store to road, and then it would be half a second of convenience store, half a second of road, half a second of convenience store, half a second of, and then we're back on the road permanently. And it was just this back and forth thing, almost like we're stitching these 2 scenes together. Yeah. As if there's a needle and thread going back and forth, and we're seeing a little bit of this, and we're back to this, and we're seeing a little bit of this, and we're back to this. Yeah. That happened. That was just an editing choice that they made.
Yeah.
That I thought was, I mean, it was beautiful. It was really interesting.
Different. It was different. I haven't seen that in a while. Anything like that in a while.
It was interesting.
I feel like there is some films like that, but yeah, it just was.
It added a really complex air to the atmosphere of it.
It also helped storytelling for each character, because in those moments we're seeing each character do something or talk, and then you're like, oh, okay, you're learning more about them in little snippets, Yeah. And I think that was really cool, because like we learned about like fucking Britney Snow's character and then Jenna Ortega's character in those moments, I believe, and then.
Well, no, not in what I'm talking about. I'm talking about literally these are half-second scenes.
Okay, my bad.
It was just it was boom, bing, boom, bing, boom, and then we're back in the next thing. It was just a weird little thing, but it's enough to jar you as you're watching it. You see this, and it kind of shakes you, and it unsettles you because it's not a smooth transition. Ty West purposefully, and whoever the editor is, purposefully made it so that these transitions are not smooth. You're not supposed to feel comfortable as we go from scene to scene. You're supposed to feel disoriented as we go from scene to scene. Yeah. Even before we get to the actual disorienting shit of a 100-year-old woman licking and murdering a 19-year-old girl. You're feeling on edge well before we get to that point. And then they did that when they did that triple cut thing. They did that as Martin Henderson's character gets stabbed in the eye. It cuts back to Jenna Ortega trapped in the cellar.
Yeah,
and it does it a little bit, and then you get like 5 seconds with Jenna Ortega. She resigns herself to being like, oh my god, the door's locked. I'm trapped down here.
Yeah,
and just as she resigns herself, it cuts back to Henderson.
Getting stabbed
with a thing in his eye, screaming as he dies.
Yeah.
So just when we thought, you think it's going to cut away, like most horror movies or slasher movies, whatever you want to call it. Somebody gets killed and then the camera cuts away.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that character's dead. It's mostly an off-camera death.
Yeah.
We have that with him and the pitchfork. It goes to her being trapped in the cellar. And then it jars you by taking you back to, oh no, you actually are going to see this guy die.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cut away again.
Yeah.
You thought you got out of it. I thought I was like, oh, good. I don't have to see any more of this gore of him getting obliterated by this pitchfork. okay, we're back to a Jenna Ortega scene. Like, I don't have to see that anymore. And then they bring it back and like, oh shit, I thought I was done with this.
What the fuck? Yeah, man. That was done really well. Also, man, some of the like shots, like I think I appreciated there was like that over like hang shot of the fucking crocodile slowly going towards her, and that was a little jarring because you're like, oh fuck, like the whole time I was like, Jesus Christ, this is gonna happen right now, and then like it didn't, but they did that so well that like you could easily believe it was gonna happen, and then it also sets up that character or that I guess that evil doer. Fuck.
Yeah, that evil. Yeah, that. Well, I don't know if it was alligator or crocodile. I don't know the difference. I also, you know what? This is the let's get trashed zoology corner.
Zoologist.
I'm gonna say fucking confidently, I don't think there's a difference between alligators and crocodiles.
I think there is.
I think I think science is lying. If science is lying to us, okay? One scientist named it an alligator, another scientist named it a crocodile, and we're just supposed to fucking believe these guys because they won't admit the second guy won't admit that he just rediscovered the first guy's shit. All right, that's what he's like. No, this is different. It's like no, it's not different. I'm pretty sure it's an alligator. It's like no, it's different. I'm calling it a crocodile. All right.
I did all this research already, bro. We got.
Yeah, no, I already wrote this. Yeah, it's the same way. I don't remember what comic has that joke. Maybe Brian Regan has a joke about the male seahorse. It's like the male seahorse is the one that has the babies.
Okay.
Where the premise of the joke is like scientists just never admit that they're wrong because he's like here's a seahorse. This is a male seahorse, and then someone's like that seahorse is having babies right now, and the scientist looks around like. Yeah, the male seahorse has the babies. Like he just won't. Yeah, he won't be like, "Oh shit! Obviously, I was wrong. It's a girl." He just won't say that. So he has to change the entire fabric of what we know about that kind of shit. Anyway,
I think about
same
that
kind of thing.
Kind of,
That's what I believe about alligators and crocodiles. Is that they're the same. And please comment and let me know that I'm right. If you're listening or watching to this,
fucking wrong. Oh man. Those scenes. There's some really well done shots in that shit, and like I enjoyed those fucking little moments where you're like, you don't know what's gonna happen, and it keeps you fucking entertained as the viewer. You know, like you're just like, what is gonna happen? Fuck.
There is, and like you mentioned, as far regarding the alligator, crocodile, whatever it is, same thing. There. The premise, the idea of Chekhov's gun. Are you familiar with Chekhov's gun?
Don't know what you're talking about.
It's a literary trope, literary premise. Chekhov's gun is if you see a gun, if a gun is presented as part of a play in the first act, part of any screenplay or whatever.
Probably gonna see in the second act.
Well, it has to go off at some point.
Oh shit! Okay.
If you see a gun in the first act, it has to go off at some point during the show. Chekhov's gun means this has to pay off. Okay. Obviously, it doesn't always literally have to be a gun. Yeah. It can be something else, but the gun, whatever this potentially, whatever this potentially explosive device is, plot device has to pay off. In this case, in addition to some metaphorical Chekhov's gun, like an alligator.
Yeah,
we also have literal Chekhov's guns, wherein we have several guns that are shown to us early on, and then But that's what's great about it is that everything pays off the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Every gun that's supposed to go off goes off, except for one of them, which doesn't go off, and that causes a problem in the context of the story. So again, it still satisfies the condition of like
what we still serves a purpose as being a gun and just failing at being a gun, but still fucks it up enough to like know that you
exactly everything pays off, but not when or where you expect it to pay off. The alligator pays off in a big way, but not. We think it's going to pay off right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because it's chasing Mia Goth early on. Mia Goth doesn't even notice it. building all this tension, and then she just gets out, and it's like she didn't even know she was about to get killed by an alligator.
Yeah.
And then, but we know there's an alligator in this water.
Yeah, it gives us. Yeah,
and the next time our characters, next time our characters head towards the water, guess what, folks? Alligator time. It's
gator time.
It's gator time. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it was just awesome. It was so well done, very well written, for the most part. Even the stuff that's like, even the stuff that's funny. You know, Martin Henderson, after they filmed the first pornography scene, he's talking to the cameraman. I wrote this down because it made me laugh. He's like, "We're gonna be rich. Feel how hard my cock is." And he takes the guy's hand and sticks it on his dick. He's like, "That's the metric of how successful this pornography is gonna be."
I started laughing so hard, man. I'm glad I watched this with like a bunch. Like, there's a bunch of people in theater, and everyone enjoyed this movie like I thought they should, because I enjoyed it that way, and I was cracking up at these moments. I know other people that went to go see this movie and they did not have the same experience. I was like, that's so fucking depressing. Because it takes a certain type of person to understand this type of humor, and the fact that people were laughing and enjoying it in my theater made me so much happier.
Yeah, it was very funny. I mean, that's one of the funniest scenes. The other one is Kid Cudi's dick silhouette when he opens the door in the middle of the night as Howard Robert Urey, the old man, is like
looking for his wife.
Yeah, looking for his wife. He opens the door. He's naked, and they show the silhouette. It's so funny that they made they just show the silhouette of his genitals, and it's
you can
hilarious.
Say dick. I'm pretty sure you can say dick.
I mean, I can say whatever I want. It's fucking.
Well, you can.
The only thing you can't say is that the vaccines don't work. But we're not saying that. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that would get you kicked off YouTube, which is where we are. But we're not saying that. You can say anything you want about dicks and the F word and all kinds of cursing. That's fine. And then after that scene, that's when that takes us to the one line in the film that I thought was not that organic, which is Kid Cudi and Robert Urey. So our
Stephen
Urey, sorry. Our porn star and our old man farmer are searching the property looking for his wife, and Kid Cudi starts talking a lot about being a Marine who was in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it just seems very forced, because the guy's like, "Hey, can you help me look over there?" And Kid Cudi's like, "I was a Marine in Vietnam. Of course I can look over there." And it's like, "You want to take this flashlight?" He was like, "I was a Vietnam Marine. Obviously I'd like the flashlight. Thank you." Like, it's just those lines. I get what they're trying to do. He was trying to ingratiate himself. Kid Cudi's, for our listeners that don't know, Kid Cudi is black, and the character is black, and he's trying to ingratiate himself to an obviously psycho, racist older white, old white farmer outside of Houston in fucking whatever county, Harris County, I don't know. But he's trying to ingratiate himself to this guy by mentioning that he was a Marine, and was like, pointing out that we both, the older guy didn't have a choice but to serve his country because he was drafted, of course, and then Kid Cudi volunteered to go to Vietnam. But anyway, they're trying to he's trying to be like, yeah,
I can relate.
Don't be racist to me.
Yeah,
We're brothers in the military service, which goes not as far as you think, Kid Cudi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to tell you, this late in the game,
that's not the bond that
holds less water. Believe it or not, the idea of fighting for America doesn't bring us all together as much as you thought.
Yeah, man.
But anyway, some of those lines felt kind of forced and felt weirdly recorded, weirdly staged. I don't know. But
what didn't you like about this movie?
That's literally the only thing I have is that
That's
the only thing I have is that 3 sentences that Kid Cudi
awesome.
said felt forced,
That's it.
which
That's
is
the
not
only thing
even
you got.
this is not even that big of a deal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no,
Again,
that's not.
that
That's
is
why I'm like,
me. Yeah, I'm
that's crazy.
scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to find anything to complain about with this movie because I loved it so much. Even what's kind of cheesy is like the music choices. The two big licenses they did uh, for music. There's a scene where Kid Cudi plays guitar and Britney Snow sings "Landslide" by Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks. Um, they're doing that in the living room as they're all hanging out. This is right before. It was right before our boom mic operator abandons her post and decides to start fucking on-screen talent, and then everybody acts like it's totally cool, and
Yeah,
her boyfriend, the cameraman, doesn't even get to complain at all.
yeah. You get voted out,
Um,
man.
you know,
If you're in that situation, you get voted out. You're voted out, man. It's simple. You're gonna make the scene.
I don't know. I haven't. I've been. Steve. I know you live
I've
in.
been in that
I know you live in
situation.
California. I know you live in San Francisco. You're involved in more sexual votes than I am. Mine are usually a one-on-one type of situation where there's not much voting involved. If anybody says I'm usually involved in situations where if anybody says no, it's a no. I didn't. I'm not. I don't have parliamentary
Well, now you know what
procedure
no
for
means no.
my. For any part of my sex life, but you're look, I live in the middle of Texas. Okay, you're a San Jose, California, sex fiend. So you get to have all kinds of weird experiences that I don't know about.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so that was kind of weird, kind of funny, but it's well done.
Yeah,
Well handled.
What's funny is they show her prepping for the scene, but they never show a scene with her in it. And I feel like that was a really good call, because that was just like, we just know she did it. Like, we know she followed through because we see, what's his name, a fucking RJ or Owen Campbell running to his car, the end, and be like, no, I'll just take all the shit.
Not even that. He takes a shower.
Oh yeah, he's taking a shower, crying his eyes out.
He cries so the cameraman who just watched his girlfriend, his formerly timid girlfriend.
His girlfriend.
He just had to film. He just had to film his formerly timid girlfriend do a pornography scene.
Formerly timid
that he wasn't expecting. He asked her to help him run sound, which you know what. I do feel for him. They frame it, they frame it as like, I'm not gonna say women's lib type of thing, but they do frame it as an instance of you got to let her do what she's gonna do. Like, she'll never respect you. You're just being controlling if you don't let her be in this pornography that we're making. And eventually RJ, the cameraman, feels like he's boxed into a corner once his girlfriend decides that she doesn't want to just hold the boom mic. She wants to be involved. She wants to be a star. She wants to have sex on camera too.
Because she likes what she sees.
Yeah, she's having a good time. Again, and that part, again, her motivation, that part doesn't bother me at all, which is like, she sees Kid Cudi have sex with 2 women, and she just is into it, and she wants a piece. That makes sense 1,000%. I totally get it. But I feel bad for her boyfriend. I feel bad for RJ, the cameraman, being like, when they're like, everybody's making him like, damn, now you're a prude all of a sudden. Like, you're crazy. You know what I mean? Like, again, I've been in bands forever.
You're comparing this
well, you know how many times I've had a show and I asked my girlfriend to help sell T-shirts at the back, at the merch table in the back. Do you imagine how I would feel if she was like, I stopped selling T-shirts and I started fucking one of the guys in another band? It's like, yeah.
I'm selling good T-shirts now.
I brought you here for a job, bitch. I would have asked you, We still need someone to hold the boom mic.
Oh,
So,
shit.
I get where RJ's coming from. It's not a feminist issue. Who's gonna hold this goddamn microphone, dude?
Who's not doing their job?
You, Wayne? Like, we're gonna teach Britney Snow? We're gonna teach the blonde bimbo bitch how to hold a mic? We can't. So.
Oh shit! Oh man. So I'm gonna talk about what I did not like about this film. I did
all
not
right,
like
tell me what you didn't like. I'm surprised there's anything to not like.
The only thing I was not fucking cool with was the old people fucking. I was like, why the fuck does this need to happen? Also, I loved the moment when the old woman was in bed with, I believe it's Maxine. I thought that.
Slow down. Wait, say what? Slow down a little bit. What were you saying?
I love the moment where the old woman is in Maxine's bed, just going crazy, having a good time, and then she runs away inside the house. It was so fucking funny to see that woman run outside. I thought it was great. But
that was a very tense scene when Pearl climbs into bed with Maxine, and Maxine is asleep. She doesn't realize that it's not Wayne rubbing her hand across her.
Yeah, because you can't tell the difference between an old person's hand and a young man's hand.
Well, she's asleep. She's fucking REM cycle deep, dude.
Deep.
I think you're wrong for not liking the. Well, let me rephrase. Let me fix this.
I love the old person sex scene. That was the best thing ever.
Well, why don't you like it? Because you just didn't want to see it, or you thought here. So don't tell me you didn't like it because you didn't want to see it.
I didn't want to.
The only reason you wouldn't like it is because you think it doesn't make sense in the context of the story. But it does make sense in the context of the story.
But the thing is, he could have died. Is my issue. He has heart issues.
Yeah, but that was very clearly explained. He went forward with it despite those risks. That was their metaphorical and literal climax. is to Howard, the old man, he sees like she's at her peak craziness right now. We're in the middle of this wild
hunt.
Her and I, here we go again. We're in the middle of one of these wild adventures that we realize we as viewers watch the course of the movie, we're like, oh, this has happened before. They're like, and so we're now like, Howard's like, all right, here's another one of those. But he succumbs, and even though he's worried about his heart, he gives her what she wants, and then they're a team after that, and they're like, all right, we're both gonna just kill these kids and go back to our happy lives together as elderly whatever. And then his heart condition pays off. That's another Chekhov's gun. We know early on he's got a heart condition. Later on, he has a heart attack. All right, the gun goes off.
It does. It does. You're right. It does, and it destroys Pearl. Poor Pearl was not expecting that recoil.
His Chekhov gun of his heart condition is triggered by another literal Chekhov's gun of a gun. We see a gun. Early in the film, we see a gun and find out he has a heart condition. Later on, that gun goes off and he has a heart attack. Both of those things pay off. Both of those things pay off perfectly, which I loved. Here's another thing.
Even the other gun that goes off when there's supposed to be no ammunition in it. That's another one.
No, it doesn't. No, the one that doesn't have ammunition doesn't go off.
No, he says at the beginning, I don't even keep it loaded. It's just to scare people off.
He was lying.
No, for sure. But the thing is, then it goes off because we're assuming that it's not loaded. He uses it to kill Kid Cudi. But then his wife uses it and it kills her. Does that count?
Okay, I disagree. We're not. We don't think that he's. We don't. No, I think he's lying from the beginning.
Okay, I did.
When he says it's not loaded, I was like, he's lying. And then when Wayne says, "Oh, I've got the exact same thing," that's the ambiguous part. Is Wayne lying too, or to make this guy to try and connect with this guy, or is Wayne telling the truth? But it never occurred to me for 1 second that Howard was lying. And it turns out that he wasn't. The shotgun, which Howard's gun, goes off twice and kills 2 people.
Yeah.
The second we find out that Wayne is a fucking honest ass motherfucker, because when his trigger gets pulled, nothing happens because his gun is not loaded. Yeah. He is just keeping it for show. He's Hollywood. He's show business. He's all for show. He does not have the bullets in his chamber. He doesn't have the bullets in whatever metaphor I'm trying to make right now. He doesn't have it. Yeah. Just a couple more things. Like I said, talked about music. I talked about the acoustic landslide. That was cool. Don't Fear the Reaper was a great music choice for a lot of reasons. One, Don't Fear the Reaper is long as fuck, so you only have to choose one song. If you pick an 8-minute song, it's the only song you need for this whole movie. It's 8 minutes, so you just get to use it. So that's a very affordable choice. So, a salute to the filmmakers. And then one question, and then of course it's about Don't Fear the Reaper is about Don't Be Afraid of Death, which is obviously the driving force of our antagonist. Is the driving force of Pearl is she doesn't want to get old, she's afraid of death, blah blah blah. Yeah. One question I do have, if I could rewatch this film, or maybe it wasn't on IMDb when I checked it after I watched it, but maybe it is by now. I want to know if when Don't Fear the Reaper starts, as RJ the cameraman is stealing the van, he's leaving his girlfriend, he's leaving this whole production. Fuck everybody, I'm done with this. Yeah. Don't Fear the Reaper's playing on the radio. He gets out of the car and then he gets murdered, and you can hear it playing in the background. Yeah. And then it comes back up as Pearl walks closer to the van. The audio's higher. As she walks away, the audio goes lower. Yeah. Brilliantly done. Brilliant use of diegetic music in film. I want to know if they timed it properly.
Oh, with the death?
For example, if the starting point when we first hear the song to when we stop hearing the song, I want to know if they did a good job of, like, that's the actual elapsed time, because in the movie it takes 4 minutes for this whole scene to happen. Yeah. And I want to know if it's actually 4 minutes from this part of the movie from this part of the song to this part of the song, or if they cut it to keep in the most dramatic parts
of the song. You
know what I mean? Because as she walk, that's always an interesting thing to me. I love when they like work so hard and they time it so perfectly. That this shit links up. Yeah, that it makes sense. I love that. I think that's awesome. I do too. Anyway, I talked about the Cubs, the silhouette. All right, here's one thing. Here's a question I have for you.
What's up?
So all the women in this film, a lot of young ladies, a lot of BBGs in this film.
What does BBGs mean?
Baby girls.
Oh, that's a horrible fucking acronym. That's horrible.
Who's the hottest one?
Oh, I think Jenna Ortega.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny? You're not at home right now. You don't have your girlfriend in the other room to hear you, so you're answering these questions. I figured you were gonna. I have written in my notes. Ask Steve who's the hottest, and then get mad at him if he refuses to answer.
No, I would have answered that easily. I don't even.
No, you wouldn't. I've seen you duck that question. We have it on. I'm cutting in right now to another episode of Let's Get Trashed where Steve won't answer that question because his girlfriend's in the room with him.
Who would you think was? I mean, they're all very attractive women. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but I think Pearl, obviously, hands down, getting it out.
Damn it! Now you just fucked up. That was my joke. I was gonna also do that. I was gonna be like,
that was so much better than yours.
Yeah, no, you're fine. Honestly, dude, I mean, yeah, Jenna Ortega, but I have to say Jenna Ortega's too. Mia Goth, Maxine was fire. I
Huh?
mean, wildly. I understand. I also want to steal her youth, like like a weird succubus demon. I mean, she was just. It was yeah. Mia Goth was awesome. She was so hot. Jenna Ortega was definitely a number two though. But I don't. Part of that was her being like the timid one.
Yeah,
You know,
it's kind of fucked up, man.
Britney, because Britney Snow is the obvious answer of she's the hot blonde, she's like the go for it, she's the wild chick,
Yeah.
and that's like the obvious answer. But I don't know. I mean, Mia Goth and Jenna Ortega were fucking fine.
I honestly thought Jenna Ortega was gonna be the main character of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, because I think the opening scene was like, I think she's talking to Wayne, and there's an interaction between them, and I was like, oh, is she the main character? And then I didn't realize the poster was actually Mia Goth. I was really confused.
Interesting. Yeah, Jenna Ortega was sitting in the back of the van, like not speaking. That was.
Oh shit, you're right.
That's
Fuck,
yeah. They even
that
mentioned
was Maxine then.
Yeah, it was Maxine. Maxine was sitting in the front seat with her boyfriend Wayne.
That was my bad.
Okay, we're running long. One other thing, a couple other things I want to mention. They very cleverly reference Psycho.
Okay.
After his
I've never seen that
Psycho.
film.
Okay, so it has a just like this film, and I want to see the numbers on it, but like just like this film, it has a plot change where the first half is setting something up, and then the second half is when it goes haywire, and they reference that in this movie, and it also happens in this movie, and it might happen at that exact same like moment. I don't know. I have to.
Do some research.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I have to do some research, but that was really great. I have one more joke that I thought of, which is all right, for the women's self-esteem movement, I'm saying officially mission accomplished, because we're not raising women's self-esteem anymore, because when they get too full of themselves, they become psycho killers like Old Lady Pearl.
Okay.
That would have made more sense if it was organically done instead of me reading it off my notes list. I type all my notes when I leave my movie theater. I type all my notes in my Subaru in the parking lot.
You could just say, "Car, where do you have to go with Subaru?" God damn. Why does that matter?
Anyway, she had such, that's the thing, is she couldn't handle not being not being told she was beautiful all the time.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting. I mean, it's a super fascinating villain. Her, Pearl's great, which is, of course, it's fascinating. They're making a sequel titled Pearl, where we get to see her younger. Although I don't know, is that going to be good?
I don't know, man. If it's the same director, I'm assuming it's going to be entertaining. But I don't know if it's going to.
This movie's great, but the whole point of that, Pearl is an old lady who's bitter. She's bitter about not having her looks, not having her youth anymore, all these kind of shallow stuff, and she resorts to murder because of it. And multiple times. We see throughout the course of the movie that her and her husband have killed people before for the same reason. And
Hey, dude. I have a question. Who was the guy in the big... Oh. Yeah.
Just give me a second. Before we talk about what I think you're going to talk about, so the idea is that Pearl's bitter about being old, and she's taking it out on any young person that crosses her path. I love that, and I think that's such a weird but interesting and possible or valid like motivation for this character. They're now making a Pearl prequel, also starring Mia Goth, who played Pearl and Maxine. Now we get to see Pearl as a younger woman, but if we see Pearl as a young woman in the prime of her life doing psycho shit and killing people, doesn't that take away from everything we just saw in this movie X?
Yeah, because why would she be killing? What would be her motive?
Well, it stops being like it stops being that her motivation is that she's old and jealous of youth.
Yeah, yeah,
Her motivation will become, oh, she's just a psycho killer and always has been.
yeah.
She
Or
killed a
maybe
bunch of
she.
she
Maybe
killed a
this
bunch
is
of
her
people when she
origin
was
story.
25.
Yeah,
She killed people when she was 25. She killed people when she was 30. And now in X, that was the prequel. Now in the main film X, when she's 95, she killed somebody, and now she's 100 and she's killing more people. So she's just been she kills every 5 years for her entire life, as far as we can tell.
yeah.
That's less compelling to me. That's less compelling to me than this old woman who's so torn down by her what she misses about her youth that it kind of drives her crazy and she starts being murderous. So I don't think they should make this movie Pearl, this prequel, because I don't think they can improve on what we have. I
Yeah, I
think they
don't
can
think they
only
can
make
either.
it worse.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be like Machete too. I don't think it's gonna be like a great film. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just gonna be a filler.
Yep.
And
Machete
yeah.
too, of course. What a great example of what a great filmography you have to draw from.
Dude, okay, what other movie would you compare it to where where like they try to
Where the
make it better,
prequels
but
fucked everything up? I don't know. Have you ever heard of a film franchise called Star Wars?
oh, I thought we weren't talking about those fucking films right now because we're trying to stay out of it because someone was like, "You brought up Sony, fucker." But either way, I just think that maybe Oh wait. So my question is,
Yeah.
to fucking backtrack because I am curious about who was the guy in the basement to begin with.
That was so that was a previous
Previous person?
Yeah, that was a previous
All right,
person.
that's
That
fine.
was the
That's fine. I just wanted to know who that was.
we don't know. The whole point
All
is
right,
that
cool.
who like we also don't know whose Volkswagen was in the lake.
Oh yeah, sure,
But
yeah.
that's so guy in the basement might have been Volkswagen Lake
Volkswagen, yeah.
or something else.
Okay.
Either way, it could have been a completely. They might
Yeah.
have done this 10 times. Maybe Volkswagen was the only time they did it. We don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, the point of that was that they've done this before.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Another question.
Mhm.
Question. I feel like this is going to be a little bit more important because of the story. The whole time we're seeing Maxine's character, she keeps on repeating. I forget what the lines are, but she's like, "You deserve more. You're worth more."
I will not settle for a life I don't deserve.
And this, I like how they tied that in with the fucking. I believe the preacher, the I can't say that word.
Televangelist.
Okay, I'm not gonna be able to say that, so I'll just stop right there. But
I said it so slow and clearly.
Okay, okay, this fucker.
Televangelist. Now you have to say it.
Televangelist.
There we go.
Televangelist. All right, we got it. Okay, that motherfucker. That guy, Simon Prast, I believe his name is the father of Maxine.
Yes.
And the way it ties in is
that's
he says that
that's the big spoiler at the end. After all
That
these
is
other
the
crazy things, that's the main spoiler.
that was the craziest thing to me because I was like, oh shit, and like the reason that Pearl is so obsessed with Maxine is because she knows that it's the preacher's daughter.
No, that's not why.
Wait, why then?
That has nothing to do with it.
No, I thought that exactly had everything to do with it because
No.
she was like, "You're the one."
That's completely.
Are you sure?
Oh, 1,000%, yeah.
Dude, I swear to God, that's the only reason she doesn't kill, or she doesn't. She wants to sleep with Maxine.
No.
No.
That has nothing to do with it. So the coincidence. The coincidence is that the gas station attendant has the TV on in the background, and it's playing the church channel, wherein some preacher, some righteous gemstones motherfucker is.
Are you watching that?
Yeah, I haven't seen season 2 yet, but I love that. I love season 1.
Fucking love that show, man.
It's very funny.
Yes.
So one of those Joel Osteen type guys, but not as successful as that. Less successful than Joel Osteen. Either way,
well,
some kind of televangelist. Honestly, since it's Texas and everything, it's more. It's more True Detective vibes. Remember, they go to that tent church in True Detective season 1. It's like that. Anyway, he's talking about at the beginning of the movie, as they stop at the gas station, the attendant has it on the background. The preacher's talking about
sex and how it's
our descent into sin, and how good Christians are lured away by sex and sinful behavior. Then, when they first get to the farmhouse, that same program is playing on the TV, and we get a little bit more of it. It lures us away from our families, from our churches, and everything else. And then he says that line, "Do not settle for a life you don't deserve," which is not a very Christian line, but they just did that for a semantic thing. But that's not from the Bible. There's no part of the Bible that says "Don't settle for a life you don't deserve." The Bible explicitly says, as a guy who read the Bible a lot when he was a kid, the Bible explicitly says you don't deserve any of it. Just take whatever you get, and the whole point is what you deserve comes in the afterlife. There's nothing. Don't worry about what you get on earth. That's not what's important.
You'll get your riches in the end.
Yeah, that's exactly. You'll get your riches in the end. That's where you get what you deserve. Turn the other cheek on earth. You don't deserve to get slapped twice. But if you get slapped once, turn the other cheek and take it a second time. That's what you deserve on earth. Yeah. Anyway, either way, but that doesn't work for this film. So they changed it. They changed it to "Don't settle for what you don't deserve." And then Mia Goth, at the very end, as she's fighting back and killing Pearl and Howard, Mia Goth is saying, "I won't settle for what I deserve. I won't settle for a life I don't deserve." And then she walks out. The camera pans over to the TV show, and we're still seeing the preacher talking about it. And he repeats that same line she just said.
Yeah.
And then he starts telling a story about how his young daughter was lured away from his family and from her life of faith, and now she's involved in sexual promiscuous activities. And it's a picture of clearly very young. It's a picture of Mia Goth. That's the big reveal at the end, is like, oh shit, this background, this is a genius. That's another Chekhov's gun that pays off. We see a preacher at the beginning, and then this story, it's not just some background thing. It's background 3 times in this movie. Yeah. But at the very end, it becomes our foreground, and we see, oh, she's the daughter of this preacher that's just been on in the back of the screen, in the back of the convenience store, the back of the house, whatever. So it doesn't really pertain to anything that happens, but it just informs us of Maxine's character, which again, brilliant. It's so well done.
Yeah, man, really good storytelling, and fucking the flow of it, really fucking good.
Yeah. So anyway,
8 out of 10 for me.
8.
I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10, man.
You gotta.
That's a solid number. I give it a higher number, but I can't. So, yeah.
You have to adjust your thing, because you don't like to go below 5 is your problem.
No, I love going below 5.
No, you
it's
don't.
a garbage fucking film.
Don't tell me that.
Uncharted was a 3, I think, or 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. That should have been a 1. I mean, that's the problem is you've got too many things crowded.
Yeah, they're all up there. Yeah,
you've got too many. This shouldn't be an if Ghostbusters is a 7.
Yeah,
this shouldn't be an 8. This is not one better than Ghostbusters. That's my problem with it.
No, but you
should have. So you either should have.
It's a different genre.
Doesn't matter. Then you need to abandon this 1 to 10 system that you love, because you're fucking it up. You're ruining the credibility of this podcast.
Hey, this is my grading system. You can say yes or no. I'm sticking with what I do. You can say what you feel, how you feel about the film, and if you should watch it.
That's why I'm saying yes. But the point is, there shouldn't be a system wherein this is only 1 point better than Ghostbusters Afterlife, or 1 point.
Well, and okay, so this is horror for me. So in the best horror film to me, there's 2 of them.
Okay.
It's Drag Me to Hell and The Witch. Those 2 movies I fucking love.
So those are 10s.
Those are 10s to me. Those are perfect movies.
what do you consider? Because I haven't seen either of those. So
Oh my god, fucking dude!
I'll have to add that
Watch
to my
those
list.
films.
I will.
Yes.
I'll watch them. I'm watching all kinds of shit. I'm 3/4 of the way through
Course.
Drive My Car right now. I'm watching it in 15-minute intervals. It's very good, but it's a tough watch. I don't want to. We'll talk about that in a little. We can't go off on that right now. I'll watch both of those. Let me ask you, where do you put The Shining?
That's like a 9. That's a 9. Oh no, fuck. That's a 10, man. That's a 10.
Okay.
That's a fucking.
That's
fucking
a 10.
Amazing. Yeah. What else? Okay, so there's. All right, that's a 10. But again,
I would say so. I'm not a huge horror fan or thriller slasher fan, whatever we're gonna call this whole genre. I call this whole genre horror, even though some people that are more nuanced than myself might not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give X. I give The Shining a 10. I think it's incredible. I don't think it could be improved upon. I'm gonna give X a 10.
Huh?
If I don't even like to do this number thing, but I'm just doing that to illustrate that I think X is as good as The Shining. I think you should watch this film.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100% watch this film.
I've told every single person I've met, you have to go see X. Yeah, I recommend it highly.
Yeah, same.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching a very long episode of Let's Get Trashed. I might go through and do some edits and cut some stuff out. I don't know if it drags.
It might a little bit.
Steve's high. I've been drinking a little bit. I went to go see a couple shows tonight, and we're doing a Let's Get Trashed After Dark episode. So, I don't know. I might wake up and watch this in the morning and be like, "This is completely unintelligible." But I don't think so. I think I'm pretty charismatic. So
God damn, you're such a prick. Who the fuck says that? I think I'm pretty charismatic. Oh my god.
Follow at Nick Tazo Drums on Instagram. Follow at Step on Hen on Instagram. Follow our show. Please follow our show account, which is Let's Get Trashed Pod. Also on Instagram. We're posting clips there. What I think are the funniest clips of our episodes as we put them out. Follow us on Letterboxd at Let's Get Trashed on Letterboxd. Every time we put out an episode, I do a review and I update it with all our what we kind of talk about a little bit. I'm not doing a good job of writing that much because I'm getting lazy, but
that's fair. I don't think anyone needs to know. Like, if they're watching the podcast again, they can get the fucking information from you.
I'm not gonna transcribe the podcast and put it on our Letterboxd account, but I'm gonna do some stuff.
1,000-word fucking description of what's going on.
Each one has exactly. Each one has a 45-page dissertation to like map out a 60-minute podcast.
I wouldn't even be mad. I would just be impressed that you spent that much time fucking transcribing this shit and then implementing it into the 143 characters.
Yeah, working that hard for something that benefits you not at all. That is exactly the kind of thing I would do, and I'm trying not to. So, anyway, thank you so much for listening. Go watch X. The more money this makes, the more they're gonna make more movies like this.
They're gonna make Pearl, so I can't wait.
Yeah, so go watch these kinds of movies. Because it'll easily be these movies go extinct and you just have to watch fucking Jared Leto and Morbius 2 every year for the rest of your goddamn life. So go watch good movies. All right. Bye, everybody.
Peace.